So today's video is sponsored by the company Minimal Case. Now, I've always been curious to why people go out and buy the latest, greatest, sleek looking design phones only to cover them up with those huge, bulky cases. So that's where the company Minimal Case comes in. Now, they offer cases for the newest phones while keeping the phone looking the way it was intended to look. Now, my personal favorite is the transparent case, which basically looks like you don't have a case at all, and that's the one that I have on my Pixel 4 XL. But they also offer colors in frosted white, frosted black, and matte black. So there's no flashy colors. They try to keep it simple, which is the overall idea behind their cases. Now, if you go to their site and use the code Gamesky, you can save 25% off. I'm also going to put a link in the description that if you use that, it will automatically apply the discount when you go to check out. But I'd like to thank Minimal Case for sponsoring today's video. Alright guys, so today is the day. Today is finally my top 10 truly wireless earbuds under $100. Now, this list has been changing here and there, but I think this is a very, very solid list. Now, please keep in mind, this is my list. I haven't tried all the truly wireless earbuds out there, although you know I'm trying to get to that point. And this list is really based more on sound, because whenever I'm looking at truly wireless earbuds, sound is the main thing that I focus on. Now, this is not full reviews on each one of these truly wireless earbuds. If you are interested in watching the full reviews, I will have links to those below. If you're interested in purchasing any of these, there will be links below to those as well. Now, the first pair I want to start with is the JLab JBuds Air Icon. This pair comes in at $59 and actually has some pretty impressive features. I really like that it has the 3 EQ settings built in, so you don't have to have an app to be able to change between balanced, bass boost, or even JLab's signature sound, which for me personally is the best one to go with. Now, it is Bluetooth 5.0. It has an IP rating of IP55, so it's water resistant, but it's definitely not one of those you want to submerge into water. And JLab upgraded these by adding touch controls. And the controls control everything you need: the play, pause, skipping your tracks forward, backwards, and even volume control. Now, the battery on these is pretty interesting. First off, the charging cable is built into the case, which I know some people do not prefer. I actually find that to be very convenient. But battery life on these, you're getting around 6 hours individually, and then you're getting around 24 hours total with the case. And then the other huge bonus here is it has a fast charge feature where a 15-minute charge will get you around an hour's worth of use. Now, as far as the sound signature on these, again, you have the different EQ settings that you can change in between, but with the signature sound, everything is boosted, it's in your face, it's dynamic, it's just an overall very fun earbud to listen to. So number 9 on the list is actually a new one that I just reviewed. It's the Razer Hammerhead True Wireless. Now, these do come in at $99, and then they have the style of the AirPods. They actually have the little stem. Now, it does use Bluetooth 5.0, but these have an ultra low latency mode. So if you watch a lot of videos or you play a lot of games on your phone, these cut out any kind of lag. Now, as far as the IPX rating, it is an IPX4, which basically means that you're fine against rain or if you sweat a lot, just don't submerge these into water. Now, the charging cable that comes with these is a USB-C cable, but the battery life on these is going to be the one thing a lot of people are not going to be happy with. Now, Razer claims that it can get around 4 hours individually, and then you can get around 16 hours with the case. Now, I know that's like on the lower end of the spectrum, but again, I think getting somewhere between 3 to 4 hours of use on an individual charge is still more than enough for most people. And the other huge thing about these is the sound. This is a very in-your-face sound as well, which is the sound signature that I like. Everything sounds dynamic. I think the mids are very well done in these. Again, that's important with gaming or movies or music because it focuses in on the vocals. Same thing with gaming where you want to hear subtle little footsteps. I think that's where they know the market that they were gearing towards, and they kind of nailed it with these. And I also like the fact that the bass still has plenty of punch and the treble is very nice and clean. And so now we move to number 8. And number 8 on the list is kind of an oldie but a goodie. And this is the Creative Outlier Air. It's been one of my favorites for a while. I know it's now moved like further down on the list, but it still has Bluetooth 5.0. It has aptX and AAC playback. It does have IPX5, so you're getting a little bit more protection when it comes to water resistant. And then the huge thing here is the battery life. You're getting around 10 hours of use individually. And then with the case, you're getting around 30. So the case is only giving you like 2 full charges, but the fact that you're getting 10 hours individually on the earbud is really nice for people that plan on keeping them in for longer listening sessions. Now, it does have the actual physical buttons, and that's my biggest complaint with these. I don't like the button control on these as much as I do the others. It's a little bit harder to push, and you don't get volume control, which is one of those things I'm never happy with. But outside of that, you can use the left or the right individually. And because of the graphene drivers that they used in here, the sound that you're getting is just, to me, amazing. And this is the first pair of truly wireless earbuds where I was like, I finally could see what truly wireless earbuds were capable of. It's extremely clear and detailed, but it definitely brings in a lot of low end, especially even picking up a lot more punch than some of the other ones do. It was the closest, I think, to maybe a flatter sound signature, kind of like a studio style sound. Again, it's not flat, it's definitely in your face and dynamic, but it just had a very nice overall feel to it. So the Creative Outlier Airs at $80, I think, is a really nice pickup. So now we move to number 7. Now, number 7 is the Mifo O5 Professional version. And the difference between the professional and the standard version is the professional ones are using balanced armature drivers. Now, the professional ones come in at, I think, around $90 to $100. But it has some really nice features and sound that is punching way above its price tag. First off, it does have Bluetooth 5.0, but they are IP67 waterproof. Technically, you can use these in the shower if you want to, and I actually tried that and it does work. But it does use micro USB, which I'm not a huge fan of, but battery life on these are still impressive. You're getting around 6 to 7 hours individually, and then you're getting close to 100 hours total with the case. To me, that was like the biggest selling point. It's one of those things where you can kind of just assume your case always has battery life and you're not having to always go back and charge these. Now, the button placement on these are not the best. I mean, they're extremely tiny. It's kind of a pain to use these when it comes to the button controls, but it does control everything. And you'll also be happy to know that you can use the left or the right individually, which is a huge plus for a lot of people. But where these are special is the sound. The sound with the balanced armature drivers is offering some really nice clarity, but still allowing some very nice bass. But the bass on these are a lot more controlled than the standard edition, and that kind of comes down to the drivers that they're using. So the bass is a little bit more controlled, but it still has that kick that you're gonna feel. But the clarity is much better on the professional edition, so I think these coming in at $90 to $100 is definitely an improvement over the originals. Now let's move on to number 6. Number 6 on the list we actually just reviewed, and that's the SoundPEATS Truengine 2 SE. First off, what makes these really special is they're only $48. And right now they're actually sold out, but again, there's a link below so you can kind of keep up for when they're available again. What makes these special though, for $48, you are getting Bluetooth 5.0, you are getting aptX, AAC, and SBC playback. So you're getting the high-res audio and some of the best Bluetooth sound that you can get. Now, it does use micro USB, which again, I'm not a fan of, but you are getting around 6 hours of battery life individually, and you're getting around 27 hours total with the case. So battery life, that's actually really decent. And another huge plus is they do use button controls, but they are very sensitive. It's really easy to use, and it controls everything. And also, if you do want to use these individually, you can do that with either the left or the right. Now, where I really enjoyed these was the sound signature. It had dual drivers in each earbud, which are doing a lot of different things, and the crossover technology that they're using is allowing you to get the most out of each frequency without it muddying up the sound, without it ever sounding congested, and it actually had a very nice open feel to it. So this sound signature was a lot different than some of the other ones on the list, but it was really refreshing to listen to, and it just worked great with all genres. So again, for $48, this is kind of a steal. So number 5 on the list is the Edifier TWS5. This has actually been one of my personal favorites for quite a while, and you can pick these up for $80. So it does have Bluetooth 5.0 with aptX and AAC playback, so you're getting some of the best Bluetooth quality you can get, while also being IPX5 water resistant. So splashes and rain again, you're gonna be completely fine, but this is not a pair you wanna take in the shower. Now, I'm not a fan of the fact that they used a micro USB for charging, but you are getting around 8 hours individually with 32 hours total with the case. So battery life, this is more towards the higher end. And again, you can use the left or the right individually. I don't like the fact that there's no volume control on these, although they do use the touch controls and it works really nicely. Now, the sound signature of these is about as dynamic as you can get. This is one of those where you're going to feel the bass. But the big thing here is the bass still doesn't destroy the other frequencies. I had no problems hearing dialogue and vocals extremely well, while also getting a somewhat brighter sound signature. Now, bass, you're getting a very nice solid punch to, with treble just having nice detail, and then the mids, you're always hearing vocals clearly. This is just a very fun earbud to listen to, so the Edifier TWS5 at $80 is again another good pickup. So now we're gonna move on to number 4, and number 4 is the new Anker Soundcore Liberty 2s. I think this is one of those like no-brainers. Now, it does come in at $100, so it's pushing right at the $100 mark, but the features and the sound just kind of make up for all of that. It does have Bluetooth 5.0, you're getting aptX and AAC playback. Again, you're getting IPX5 sweat-proof, so it's not water resistant, but it's going to be fine with rain and sweat. Now, it does come with 7 sets of ear tips, so you're getting a lot more to choose from, and you're going to be able to find a better fit. And it also uses USB-C for charging, where you're gonna get around 7 hours individually, and then 30 hours total with the case. So it also uses USB-C for charging, and battery life on these, you're gonna get around 7 hours individually and then 24 hours total with the case. Now, they do use touch controls, but it is very limited because of the app. So you can have volume control if you want it, but you kind of have to sacrifice like your track controls. So you really have to pick what it is you want to be able to get the most out of these. And you can also use either one of these individually if you want. And the sound signature of these, I think, is special because of the diamond coated drivers. It has a different sound signature than most of the other ones. It has a lot of air in the sound, but it has a lot of sparkle in the highs. And what that does is make this very detail oriented, but it gives it a crystal clear sound that is separating these from most of the others. Now, the bass also has a ton of impact. It even responds very well to lower frequencies, which gives it more of a subwoofer feel. To me, it's just an extremely fun earbud to listen to. Now, next up is kind of a classic, but it's kind of a revamp on a classic, and that's the Sabbat E12 Ultra. They took an already good truly wireless earbud and they pretty much made it great. The Ultras use Bluetooth 5.0, but they added aptX and AAC playback. And the Sabbats also have 7 sets of ear tips. Now, the really nice thing about these is the different sets of ear tips actually alter the sound quite a bit. So you can have a bass heavy sound or a more detail oriented sound. Now, it does use USB-C, and battery life, you're getting around 7 hours individually and then 30 hours total with the case. But the nice thing about the case is it's a Qi wireless charging capable case. So it's always nice to have something that you can just drop in on a wireless charger and have it charged that way. Now, these use button controls, but the button controls are sensitive enough that you don't have to feel like you're jamming these into your ear, and the controls control everything. Now, if you do want to use these individually, this is another pair that you can use either the left or the right. And when it comes to the sound signature of these, this is some of the bass heaviest earbuds you're going to find. I think that's always been the thing that I liked about the Sabbats. And even though they improved on the sound and they tweaked a lot of different things, they never got rid of the bass that I liked. It just made these a lot more clear than the originals. So there's a lot more detail that you're picking up, but you're not sacrificing having that very thick rumble in the bass. Now, number 2 on the list is one of those that's kind of fluctuated. It's been my number 1 for the longest time, and that's the One More Stylish True Wireless. These come in at $99, and you can still use the code Gamesky on their website to save 20 bucks. So technically you can pick these up for $80. But they just had an update on these, which now allows for volume control. That was one of the complaints that I had about these originally, and now that's been fixed. But these also have Bluetooth 5.0 and aptX and AAC playback, so you again are getting some of the best Bluetooth sound that you can get, while also having micro USB. That kind of kills it there for a second. But battery life on these, you're getting somewhere around 6.5 hours of use, and then you're getting around 24 hours with the case. And another huge bonus here is it does offer quick charge, where a 15-minute charge is going to get you around 3 hours of use. Now, although these do use button controls, I think this is some of the best button placement I've seen. The button kind of sits more on the back end of the earbud, so you're actually able to control it just kind of by touching the top instead of pushing the button and pushing these into your ear. Now, the biggest advantage here is the titanium composite drivers that they use. This has a very natural sound, although the frequencies are boosted. I think because of the air that's allowed into the sound and the mixture of the frequencies, it feels like something more that you're walking into a room where a band is playing. It feels like everything is live instead of like studio processed. I guess it's kind of hard to explain, but is an extremely fun earbud to listen to with all genres. It doesn't lose anything whenever there's a lot of stuff going on. It picks up detail very well, but it still has plenty of kick. And so now, number one. And if you've kind of followed me, and as much as I gushed about these in the review, the Lypertek Tevis, or TVs, I don't even know how you say it, is an absolute steal coming in at 90 bucks. I recommend these to anybody. It is definitely one of the clearest earbuds that you're gonna find. Now, these also do use Bluetooth 5.0 with having aptX and AAC playback, but it's IPX7 waterproof. So again, this is a pair that you can use in the shower if you want to. And another thing I like about this, although I'm not the biggest fan of these, it does also include some foam ear tips options as well. Now, it does use USB-C, and the battery life is 10 hours individually, where you're going to get somewhere around 70 hours total using the case. And then on top of that, it's nice that they also added a fast charge feature where a 15-minute charge is gonna get you around 2 hours of use. And another thing I like, that really doesn't matter that much, is I like the fabric case. I like the look of it, but I still want to point out it is the case that's going to get dirtiest the quickest. And then the button controls on here are very nice, very easy to use, and it controls everything. Track control, play, pause, even volume control. So I love when earbuds include everything and you don't have to pull out your phone or use your smart assistant. And now, the thing that makes me recommend these the most is the sound signature. It's extremely wide, but it's extremely detailed. This is one of the cleanest, clearest earbuds that you're going to find. And then for me, having that wider sound stage just adds a whole other element to listening to music, definitely with watching movies and even playing games. It still has nice bass, but it is a tighter, quicker, impactful bass than most of the others. So some people that are bass heads might not be the hugest fan of these. I still think that these have plenty of kick, but I love the clarity that comes out of these. And I think the sound mixed with the features coming in at $90 is easy to put these at the top of my list. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I really wanted to compile a list because you guys always have questions and want me to compare one earbud to the next. Again, realize that this is my list out of the ones that I've tried, and this is solely more so based on sound than anything else. But guys, thank you so much for checking out this video. Thank you so much for checking out all the other videos. And as always, make sure to stay tuned for more.